Hey everybody, welcome back to this other vlog that I'm doing. Um, I actually had to wait a day to do this because I was really angry about what I'm about to talk about. Um, I have proof that Canada and the CBC is involved in hiding and protecting terrorists. Um, we just paid a terrorist named Omar Kadar $10.5 million for being a terrorist and gave him an apology. There's um there's no other reason. The facts are the facts, and I have no clue what the heck's going on here, but this is the straw on the camel's back. This country is gone. Like it's done. These politicians need to be fired. They need to be taken to court for treason. Enough's enough. We need to shut this country down. And the only way to do it, I figure, is the unions got to band together and just not go to work and start shutting the country down. People need to just not go to work and shut the country down. Enough's enough. Here's what the biggest joke about paying this guy $10 million. A few years ago, we paid another terrorist $15 million. I believe his name was Mahar, however how you pronounce it. Something like that, anyways. But we paid this guy $50 million and an apology for saying, well, sorry, we thought you were a terrorist, but I guess you're not. So here's $15 million. Well, here's the the irony. It's such irony. This guy now that we pay $10 million to was arrested by the states. He was the child, the 15-year-old child soldier that threw the grenade and killed the American soldier. But the irony here is that guy was on trial a few years back and testified that the Marar Harar guy, or Rar Mahar, whichever it is, was a leader of terrorist camps. So he actually turned out he was a terrorist. So then we just gave this guy $15 million. Great move, man. Nobody should be getting $50 million. And now we just gave another guy 10 million. And if you're one of those people out there that support, oh yeah, that's okay, we gave this terrorist $10 million, I want you out of my country too. Get the hell out, man. That is crazy that you would have support for that. And here's another thing. I want you to take a look at this. It's the CBC comments here. Look at this. Here's a guy that states about, talking about Omar Kadar. And then here's a guy replying about it that the content got disabled. Yeah. What do you know? That right there, if you look at the comment, there's nothing wrong with the comment that it should be disabled or blocked or anything. It's because they're protecting terrorists. That is what the CBC and the government are in cahoots doing. CBC are a bunch of PC Nazis anyways. You can't say anything on their site if they don't agree. If it's against their opinion, they literally will block or delete it. It's hilarious. They're the moderator PC Nazis, and this is our tax money. It's just crazy. And then you would think, paying this $10 million. Yeah, the RCMP came out with a list there a few months ago too about the signs of seeing if your child's a terrorist or somebody's a terrorist. How about, yeah, I threw a grenade, I pleaded guilty to it, and killed some American soldier, and a few other crimes with it. Can I have my 10 million, please? Wow, uneffing real. Oh, well, and I guess one reason I'm really pissed off about all this too is that I guess I'm going to tell you a little personal story that I don't really tell too many people, but I guess it's going to be on YouTube now, but you don't really know who I am, so it doesn't really matter. But when I was 18, I got in a little bit of trouble, and I ended up going to jail, and it was probably about 3 years I was there. So anyways, I get out, I do parole. I actually went to college for about 5 years afterwards too. So, I bettered myself and everything like that. But after a while, I I couldn't get jobs anymore, especially in my field, and I had edges in the field that I was in. Um, they wanted criminal records. criminal record checks. It's illegal to ask me if I have a criminal record in an interview, but yet it's okay to ask me for what they call a CRC, a criminal record check. And the loophole I figure's got to be, well, I'm volunteering it. Well, no. If I don't want to volunteer it, I don't get the job. If I volunteer it, I don't get the job. I mean, it just it does. It's a catch-22. So, anyways, as years went on, it got harder and harder and harder for me to get a job. I couldn't even get a job in my field anymore. I had to actually try to switch careers, so which I really hated actually. But anyways, so the government basically has punished me longer by not allowing me to get a pardon or actually just wiping it as soon as I've done my time. As soon as you do your time, that should be it. But no, in our country, it takes 5 years to get a pardon for certain crimes, then 10 years for other crimes. So, in other words, up like basically for me, it was almost 20 years before I basically was able to get a pardon. But now, because of this, I actually got my pardon now. But the problem is, it took 20 years to get it because the affordability was crazy too at the time. So here I am scrounging from job to job trying to get what I can get. And then I applied for a pardon, which was only 150 bucks. So I thought, okay, well, I'll scrape it and pay for it. So then I get it paid for, and then all of a sudden I get a letter like a year later telling me they want like $500 more because the government decided to up on the pardon fees. So I had to pay another $500, which was I couldn't get right away. I mean, it's just crazy. So, anyways, needless to say, I got to tell you this too. They lost my papers during the middle of this pardon thing too. Yeah, absolutely effing unreal, eh? So, anyways, needless to say, it took about maybe four years. Finally, once I was able to get the pardon type thing. So we're talking almost. It was probably 18 years, 20 years, give or take. I mean, it's hard to really remember every year right now, but yeah. So that's what pisses me off about paying somebody $10 million. The government chiseled me a big snowball effect by not allowing me to get a job, by not allowing me to provide for the kids or whatever whatsoever and so forth. So one big just shit not happened because of that. And that's why I'm pissed off for paying some guy $10 million. You want hardship, buddy? Yeah, okay, that's fine. You got chained up. Been there, done it. So what I'm trying to say is where's my 10 mil then? Because I don't give a shit. I was there too, man. We have things called the hole and everything like that. That's what happens. It's called prison. You should be thankful that the Canadian government was willing to take him in to finish his sentence in Canada. And then we release him and pay him $10 million. Uneffing real. And take a look at that CBC stuff I'm talking about too. That's another thing you need to do. You need to start writing into them and start writing to your government officials about this CBC. I mean, what they're doing is absolutely crazy too, man. They are PC Naziing literally the site. And if it don't agree with their opinion, it gets erased or blocked or whatever. But anyways, that's my vlog for today. So all I have to say is these politicians, they literally need to be taken to court because what all politicians need to know is this is no world for old men.